Hi everybody, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I'm here to bring you a video today. I'm going to be doing a Dutch fold card. As you can see, I'm right down here. And wait a minute, I need to make sure my sound's off on my computer. There we go. And I am going to show you the difference. Not that there's any difference in the cards themselves, but I did one out of the mini catalog, which you know that is going right now, this catalog. I used the Best Day, it's called Best Day, and it is of a fat cat, is what I call him. He's on page 67. So let me show it to you right here. Here's the stamp set. It's $23. And they have a couple samples here, and then this is my take on it with a little fun fold. And then what I did is I thought, you know, if I'm going to do one out of the mini catalog, why don't I do one of the sets that you can get free out of the celebrations? And I used the carrots because I think those are really cute. And they are on page, I didn't mark that page, but they are right here somewhere. There they are. These right here, and there's a couple samples there, but it's really a cute stamp set, I think. And what I did was just change the paper color, but everything is cut the same. The cards are done the same, so it is really a good set to do. What's somebody sending me? Oh, I need to get back to that, but not right now. Okay, what I do want to tell you is I do have a Facebook group called Stamp Crazy VIP, and I do the PDFs for my cards with all the instructions on there, so you can go over and grab that. It has the two cards that I'm going to be making. The directions only have the DSP down for this one and stuff. Everything else is pretty well the same, but the colors and that are done on this card. There's my host code. If you do not have a Stampin' Up demonstrator and would like to order, you can use my January host code by going to my online store at ritaholmes.stampinup.net. I'd love to have you do that. Also, during celebration, we got a great signing bonus that if you sign up to be a demonstrator for $129, you actually get the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and you can get it in a color called Boho Blue, or you can get the white one. Plus, you get to pick $175 worth of stuff out of the catalog. You can get it either way, blue or white, or you can sign up for $99 and get $175 worth of product free and not get the emboss machine if you already have one. If you're interested in that, please let me know. You can email me at ritaholmes0611@gmail.com, and I'll really make sure that I see that there. Or you can put it in your comments here, and I can get back with you. But it's a great signing on bonus, and I'd love to have you join my team if that's something that you would like to do. So now I'm going to get on with my cards. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make this one, and then we might go ahead and make this one. We'll see how much time it's taken me to do this. I'm going to lay these directions off to the side. Now, I did this card a long time ago, so there's probably a video for it with this same fold. And it was using the hand pin set when that came out, which is this one right here. So there is a video that I've done with this same design. But I thought I would recap it and do a different one today. So we're going to start with this one. So let's put these right here, and I hope we can see them. I'll put this one on the bottom so we can see it. There we go. I'll bring in my papers. Sure I will. As soon as I can get them all over here. Okay, we're going to take a piece of 5.5 by 4 1/4 piece of black cardstock, and that's going to be our base. Then we have a 2 3/4 by 8.5 inch piece scored at 4 1/4, And we're going to just take and we're going to fold that and put a good crease in it. And then what we are going to do, we are going to just glue that down to the bottom of this card, and that's going to make our little hinge that folds out. So let's get to my glue. It's above my head. Which, as short as I am, being above my head's not very far. So let's go ahead and put some glue on here. I want that to really hold down good, so I'm gluing it up. And what I do is I'm going to make sure that my folded part is over here on the left side of my card. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to stand this up and kind of just pat it down to the bottom so that I know my bottom edge is even with the back of the piece of black cardstock we have there. And there we go, we have that, and then we can open, and that's our card. So what I'm going to do next is I took a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 at Granny Apple Green, and I ran it through the embossing folder called Painted Textures, just because I wanted to give it some textured look. And I'm going to glue that right here, and that's going to cover where we have glued this together. Okay, so let's glue that down. And you can use either side of this embossing folder because both sides look really nice. And again, I want that glued down because of all the texture in there. So let's bring that in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that over, and I'm going to use my little tool that I always like to use, and I'm going to there we go. Then I'm going to take, this is out of the Dandy Designs paper, and that is, you can get that free with a $100 order in the Celebration catalog. It's got all kinds of neat colors in it. I'm going to put a piece here, and I'm going to use this side on the front. And that way I have all this out of my way. Even though you're not seeing me glue that down there. So let's go ahead and just put this on. Then I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to glue it with this side down over here. So I'm using the same paper, just turning it over, which makes it nice. So we're going to do that. So let's turn that over, and then I'm just going to take this. All this does is really make sure that that glue adheres to that paper. I like to do that. I know some people don't take the time. So that we're going to lay aside right here. We're going to bring in a piece of 2.5 by 3 3¾ piece of basic white cardstock. And I actually thought I had 2 of those. Probably dropped one, knowing me. But magically there another one appears. I just took it off of this other set. So I have 2 of these. One's going to be for here, and then one's going to be on the inside. Okay? So let's get our stamps out. And we are using this right here. So I'm going to get the big fat cat. That's what I call him, the fat cat. Because that's exactly what he looks like to me. Big old fat cat. And then I'm going to get the saying out that says, "It's all about you." And I'm going to stamp "It's all about you" first. And I'm going to stamp it down here at the bottom. As you can see, I have it down here. And then I'll stamp my cat up, and I'll have place for my ribbon. That way I don't lose my spot for my ribbon. We're using the Memento Black ink. So I'm just going to ink my stamp. And I'm going to take that and stamp it down here towards the bottom. Whoops, and I got some black on there because I rocked it. And I knew I was rocking it, but I didn't think I had black on my stamp. What about that? So, you know, it always gives me something else to show you guys that I'm going to do. And I'll do that in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my cat first. So I'm just going to ink my stamp up really, really good. And he's going to go right here. Let that soak in a minute. And there's my fat cat. And then I'm going to bring in my happy birthday that's going to go onto this side. I just lost my computer. Just 1 second. I got to plug it in. But I didn't lose you guys, so that's okay. Let me... should have made sure that was plugged in before I started, but I didn't. So anyway, now I'm going to stamp my happy birthday. And I'm going to stamp it right here on this piece. So that's all my black. And then what I'm going to do is take my Grainy Apple Green ink. And I'm going to, this has like little ribbons and dots on it. I'm just going to ink that and bring it over here and put that right here to the side under my happy birthday. Just to give a splash of color. And that's the inside, okay? I'm trying to get my, there we go. I'm back up to where I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so there we have that. So let's move all this out of our way. I'm going to take my, let me find it. There we go. I have my sand eraser. That's for erasing ink, and I'm going to try to lighten this. You won't even be able to notice it by the time we're done with the cards, so that's a good thing. Okay, get all the dust off. There we go. That looks a little bit better. So let's put that away. Now we're going to color. And I used a lot of colors with my cat. And here they all are. I'm going to spread them out where you can see them. And I'm going to color. So what I'm going to do is take the dark basic gray. That's what I'm going to start with, my cat. And where the lines are, I'm just going to put a little line in under his arm. And then I'm going to do his whiskers. And that is it. And then I'm going to take the light. I'm going to go around his ears. I don't want to get the inside of his ears because I'm going to put a little bit of pink in there. So So I'm going to do those first so I don't get carried away up there. Do his tail. And as I go over that darker the dark ink, it'll just kind of blend with the lighter ink because it re-wets it. And I'm just going to be careful like around his eyes and different places, but in here where I'm coloring, if it gets kind of splotchy, I don't care because that'll give dimension to my cat. And I'll show you in the end what I mean. I'm going around his cupcake liner. I'll go down the side of him. Do his little hand. Or his paw. And I'm intentionally doing this to let it be splotchy. And I want to blend where I've got those darker colors. Just so that they don't look like a straight line down there. Go around his nose and his little bow tie. I really don't want to get gray ink in those if I can help it. But I get so carried away coloring. And the reason I'm going to have my cat look splotchy is because he's got such a big area there. Instead of trying to blend that and work it that way, I just figure if I leave some areas that looks, oh, I just got that in his eye. I have a darker eye over there. Must look like he has a black eye. So, I'm going to show you what I mean here in just a second. Let that dry a second, and then I will show you. But in the meantime, I'm going to take this dark petal pink. I thought it was the dark. And I am going to put that in his ears and on his nose. So that gives just a little bit of color there. And I'm dropping stuff, girls, guys, whoever's watching. So we're done with that. No, yeah, I'm done with that. Then I'm going to take it's light Calypso Coral, and I'm going to do his bow tie. And I'm just coloring that. It's not big enough to even worry about trying to add dimension to it. We have that, and I'm going to take the dark Pool Party, and I'm going to put that right there in the balloon. And I'm going to take it on the other side, and I'm going to do this middle piece of the hat. Take the lighter color. I think I'm going to color it with the other end so I blend it better. There we go. I think I'm going to go over that too. So there's this hat. Let's take the dark Granny Apple Green. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of add some darkness up here around the cat. So it'll be kind of like like he has shaded it a little darker. Then I'm going to do these little lines. And then a little bit down here. Alrighty. Then we're going to take our lighter color. I'm going to go ahead and color up here at the hat. There's this hat colored. And now I'm going to color in the cupcake liner. Had to think about what it was called. And where I have the darker, that's where I'm going to blend a little heavier, because I want to re-wet that so it'll blend in. And same way at the bottom. You just want to blend that in to where it doesn't look like just a straight line. And you can make this as dark as you want or as light. It squeaks on the paper, doesn't it? I like the color, but I like to be fast at it. I'm not one to sit and take my time, and I want it to look nice, but I don't want to be here all day doing it. You get me on that? Now I'm going to take my light Pool Party, and I'm going to fill these in just with the tip. Almost forgot one. And there he is, all colored. And if you can see him, if I hold him up close, can you see the little bit of lightness and darkness in the cat? And that's where I just kind of made him what I call splotchy, just going over it and not covering the whole area all at one time. So that is how he is done. Now I'm going to take the ribbon, and this is just the Pool Party Grosgrain that is in the new mini catalog. And I'm going to hold that up here and just trim me a piece a little bit longer. And then I'm going to take my glue dots. Sure I am. As soon as I find one. Right here. I'm going to put one on that end and then one on this end. I'm going to hold my ribbon right here. Make sure I have it straight. Whoops, it's stuck on my finger. Lay it down. And then just push that over with my glue dots. Then I'm going to go ahead and glue it on my other two pieces. Like I said, this is 2.5 by 3 3/4. This is 2 3/4 by 4. And this is 4 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to glue those three pieces together real quick. And you want to make sure it's glued down where the ribbon is. Let's take the green. That's Granny Apple green cardstock. Just ties in with this cupcake. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to go ahead and glue it onto the black. So let's do that. And then I'm going to rub with this and can make sure all of those adhere together really, really good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut me a piece, probably about 5 to 6 inches. And I'm going to slip this through my ribbon, and I'm just going to tie me a knot. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy. You don't have to be fancy all the time. And then we're just going to trim that. Everybody got that one shorter. I usually get that side longer. I'll just trim this one up a bit. There we go. Always having to trim one of my edges again. Now this is going to go onto the front here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of line it up where I might want it. When I pick it up, I'm going to hold my finger down here. That was kind of like where it was. And I'm going to glue underneath my finger, because I don't want that to come up above where my finger was. And then I'm going to take and glue this back down, making sure that that glue part is underneath. I can always move it down. And I glued it the wrong way. Did y'all notice that? Darn, darn, darn. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open this a minute. And it's going to, I'm going to open it and I'm going to lay it down here. I could have left it like that, actually, but I didn't. So not all is lost. Since that is messed up, I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix it. So bear with me. I'm going to take a piece of the green, grainy apple green, and I'm going to cut it 5 1/4 by 4, and I'm going to rerun it through the embossing folder. That's what you're hearing me do real quick, because, you know, I'm always real on there, so if I make a mistake, I'm going to just keep going. I'm not going to backtrack if I can help it. So what I did was I cut me another piece, just like what I did before. And I made a mistake yesterday in my other video, only in a different way. So I'm going to just glue this back over that. And you won't really be able to tell. Make the card just a tiny bit heavier, but it's still going to be malleable and all of that. So I'm going to take this and line it up over the piece that I cut. Glue that down really well. Nobody will know, except us. So I'm going to turn that over, and I'm going to use my tool because I want this piece really down good. There we go. So that's done. See? Fixed it. That's all you have to do. Don't have to throw it away or anything like that. Now I'm going to turn it over, and I want this to be glued on this side. So I'm going to put glue on the back, and I'm going to center it here so I know that it's going to be under that piece of black cardstock, because I don't want it to show when my card is closed. So the glue side is up. You saw me, I was going to make a mess again probably. And then the glue side is up. I'm going to take this side and I'm just going to put the flap over, rub it really good, make sure I got it where I want it. I'm just going to straighten that end up right there. Then I'm going to take my tool and rub it down. And that's a done card. So that's all I had to do with it. And it's made. So that is, oh, one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the dark greeny apple green. Picked up the wrong. And I'm going to color 3 of the jewels. And these are just your basic jewels with your Stampin' Blends, and you can color them. That way you can have jewels of all colors. You don't have to. And I'm going to take them, and I'm actually going to put one right there where I had that, where I erased that one mark. And there's my card. It's all done. Nobody's going to ever know that I made mistakes, except for you guys, which, you know, you're on the internet, so a lot of people know. A lot of people watch, a lot of people know. But that just shows how you can clean that mistake up and it be okay. I'm going to also show you real quick. I'm going to go ahead and do the carrots. And the carrots are this set right here, which I really, really like. And we're going to use the big carrot. I'm going to go ahead and put that on my block. And I'm going to use the stamp set. There's no one quite like you. And the reason why I like this one is I can put a happy birthday or whatever inside of that. You know, because we're just, unless you weren't really talking about your friend being strange or something like that, it's okay. Now I had, there we go. I had to find my little piece. It's right here. And that little piece came from, I have the Give It a Whirl dies. And I used the inside of this piece right here. That's what I used. So, I'm going to use my black. Actually, I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow. I used black on my sample. Then I did another one yesterday, but I already mailed it off. And it was done in Mossy Meadow, and I like that really well too, so I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow. And even though this is already cut out, I can see and stamp inside of it. Making sure my ink, and there we go. So it turns out pretty good. I'm looking for my other piece of paper I lost earlier because I stole one from there. And I'm always losing paper. I'm always losing, I'd be losing my head if it wasn't attached on. So I am going to make sure I have that cut for us. So I'm going to cut 1, 2.5 by 3 3/4. Tell you what, I love having everything right in one room, because I just redid that not too long ago, and I really enjoy it. It's one of the best things I ever did. It took me a while though. It was a process. So what I'm going to do now is take the carrot, and I used 2 colors on my carrot. I'm going to bring it over here. I used Cajun Craze. Say that 3 times real quick. I used Cajun Craze, and I used Pumpkin Pie. And I'm going to take the Cajun Craze first. I'm going to ink that up really good. So let's just ink it. And I'm going to bring it down here, and I'm going to stamp one of those. So there's one in Cajun Craze. And then I will take the pumpkin pie, and we'll do one on each side of it in pumpkin pie. So we're just going to put one right here. Oh, let's see if we can line it up. It's going to look shaded if I did. No, we're going to turn it over. Go back to Cajun Craze, and I am not going to clean my stamp to go back to Cajun Craze because that's not going to matter none. So let's go back to Cajun Craze. I am really making a lot of mistakes today. You'd think I'd just stop and start over, but no, I'm not going to do that because, like I said, you make a mistake, you keep going. Don't get discouraged. Okay, now we're going to add, now I'm going to make sure I get that whole carrot. There he is. And then we're going to do one on this side. So there's our 3 carrots. We'll put him back up. We don't need him anymore. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my pumpkin pie, and there's 3 little carrots together in this set, and I am going to put them on for the inside of my card. So there are those carrots. And now I'm going to take, this is our little carrot tops. A little carrot top, and we're going to do that Mossy Meadow. I'll do the little one first because it's sitting next to me. So we're going to add that, and then I'm just going to stamp off Second Generation. I'm going to bring this in and do the same thing. I'm going to stamp, stamp off, stamp, stamp off, stamp, stamp off. And there's my carrots. Cute, aren't they? And all the sayings in this little set are really cute with the carrots. I'm using the one I told you, there's no one quite like you, but there's look at you, it looks like spring, everything's coming up carrots, there's a thanks, a hey there, love you, dots. These are little, some of them look like little hearts, but I think they're just little dots. This you can put on your carrot if you want. Here's part of the leaves, you can do the leaves. Here's a bigger sprig. I've seen this turned sideways like this and used as grass. So that's a good idea for that one. And then this one you can use the same way too, as grass. Can you see that when you look at it that way? When you say that, it kind of sounds funny, but it is true. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to take some, where'd my twine go? Here it is. I'm going to take some of the linen. This is just the linen thread that we have, and I'm going to measure what would be close to a yard, and I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to show you a trick that I do. So I'm going to have to bring my camera forward a little bit so you can see the end of my table, so hope this doesn't make you dizzy. Okay, what I do with this, because you can see how curly it is, like that. Can you see the curls in it? I'm going to take it on my table, start at one end, and I'm just going to hold it tight and pull it up over the side of my, and can you see the curl out of it now? It makes it much easier for you to work with. Now I'm going to scoot you back so we'll have the table to work on. But that was my easy way of showing you how to do that. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to fold this in half to use it. But before I do that, This is something that I came across the other night. Never knew it. Don't know. I've never seen it done. But when I was making my samples, I had put my twine on there and was tying my bow. Well, I didn't like my bow, so I took it all off. And I had already taken and put a glue dot underneath my twine to hold it there. But I'm like, I don't want that. But the glue dot stayed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this glue dot down right here about where I'm putting my, and I rolled it a little bit because I just want it, I don't want it like a dot. It's kind of raised. Can you see it? And it's rolled into a line. And I want that to sit right there. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my twine, kind of find the center. I don't really need the center because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put more on one side than the other because of, I'm going to have this off center. But you notice I've got this right about where that glue dot is. Well, as soon as I get my fingers around it. But I'm going to bring that down as I do this. And when I tie this knot, I'm going to tie it just one layer of a knot. Nothing fancy. But when I do that, I'm going to do that where that glue dot is. I'm going to lay it on top of that glue dot and I am going to press. And that is going to hold that very tight for me so that when I tie my bow, I don't have to worry about holding my ribbon down. It was so much easier to do. And I always turn my stuff upside down when I tie my bow because I want... And then the reason why I do that... Let me get a hold of this because I got two pieces. When I do this... and I come back this way, then actually... Well, if I didn't have that all caught around my bow, my ends, and this is my end, this big piece. My ends are down here around my, to the bottom of my, or the outside of my card piece. I'm just making my bow kind of the size I want it. And it's still tight, really taut on where that glue dot is. So, and that holds my bow. So now what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to bring in my pieces and they're all the same. Everything that we had made is all the same. Here's my black and white piece, or my black piece that's 5.5 by 4 1/4. Here's my 8.5 by 2 3/4. Folded, or scored at 4 1/4 and folded. And I'm going to glue that to the bottom of my card. So let's do that. I just did this one in a different order than I did the first one. Everything is cut the same. I just used a different ribbon. So I put it on there a little bit differently. And then my saying was done a little bit different. So there we have that. Let's take, this is out of the, it's in the Celebration catalog. It's the one with these flowers on the front. It's called Favorite Flowers. And this is actually that flower. And I'm using the back side of the green because I really liked that with my carrots. I was trying to find something I would like with the carrots. So I'm like going through all my DSP. Seeing what I could use. Now sometimes with this being dark, I'll pull that up a little bit so I can see where it's going. And I don't want the flowers on the inside here with the carrots, so I'm going to go ahead and use the same side on this one. So we have the same side done on both. how I did that, but you know, I had to do something so I could get my glue eraser out, right? Because y'all know I like my glue eraser. Okay, while I got that open, I've got my piece, and I use Mossy Meadow here, same embossing folder, and I'm going to lay that down here. And I'm going to try not to make any mistakes anymore. I've made enough in this video. I should name this video, What Not to Do. Because I can be a pretty good mistake maker, let me tell you. Okay, there's all of that. So let's take these 3 pieces like we did on the other, and we're going to put this together. Put it together. It's hard seeing it when everything's so dark, the papers and stuff. Okay, let's lay that down. We'll do this one. Stick that on the black. I really like using black sometimes for my card bases and that. It just pops the other colors out that you use. So, and this is going to go here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of hold this to where I want my glue. Whoops. Which I gauged it by where I want it below where my linen thread is. And I'm going to bring it down. And I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the back side of this one, and I just put the little carrots in it for the front. I thought those would be, or kind of goes with the front. My lid flew out of my glue thing. So we're going to lay this down here, like we did before. I'm going to bring this over, close it, open it back up. Make sure I got it right. There we go. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to take and burnish all of this together. And I'm going to take, and I thought, yep, I do. On this one, I didn't pop that up. I glued it on the ribbon, and it just looks kind of gawky to me. I don't like it. I don't know what other word to use. So I'm going to put 2 dimensionals here, and I'm going to put them close, not over to the edge, because the edge will stick off a little bit, and I don't want them in the way. I don't want them stuck down there. So I'm just going to put that on, and then put this right here over that ribbon, and that way it doesn't look so lumpy. So there's that card, and all I got to do is some jewels, and I used the dark pumpkin pie. So let's color 3 of those real quick. I'm all about putting just a little bit of bling or something on, just something to add dimension and give it a little pop. So let's put these on. Put one down there. One right here, and maybe one over here. And there we go. That's that card. So I showed you 2 cards. They're both done. Here are the 2 cards I made here today, and then these are the 2 cards that I had made. You don't see a whole lot of difference in them. Just kind of where I placed my jewels. On both of them I did it differently, but that's okay. Bring this back down here where you can see it. So anyway, there are my cards. They don't look much different. This is called a Dutch fold. And like I said, I have the directions over in the my Facebook group, which is called Stamp Crazy VIP. And there's in the section called Files, you can see it. And like this will be, when you look for the name of it, it'll say Dutch Door Fold, Fun Fold Card 36. And that means, what that 36 is I've done, on my videos, I've got 36 different fun folds that I've done. So, because I kind of name them that way, so I know what I have. So anyway, you guys are more than welcome to go over there and snag whatever videos, or not videos, but PDFs that you might like. They are there for you, for the ease of you. I will show you what I do with mine, because I do print everything off that I do. Mainly because I show them to you in the video. But I'm going to lift my camera up really just a little bit. See if I can't. Maybe. I don't know if that helped or not. But I have this book right here. And if you can see it, it's really thick. I don't know if you can see that. Let's, whoops, bring the camera down a little bit. And you can see how thick the book is. It's way over its limit. But anyway, I take in my book and I put in, like, this is Fun Fold Series number 1. It's got the directions. When I first started, I did not put pictures with my PDFs, but I do now. But I keep every card, and so they're all in here, so I can go through, and that's exactly what I did. I went through and found the videos. I don't know when I started putting pictures. Way back here. There's one with pictures. So, it's pretty far back. But I have all kinds of fun folds and stuff. But this is how I keep them, in a notebook. That way, if I want to do a fun fold, didn't know what I want to do, kind of looked on Pinterest or whatever, thought, I don't know what I want to do. I get my book out and I kind of go through it and see what I've done, and thought, oh, well, I can just make that over again. It can be new friends with each other. You know how that goes. Because we kind of forget what we do. So that brings it up, and it's like, oh, I can do that again because it'll look a lot different. And here's the card I did first. So you can see, you know, they're all they're the same. You know, they're made exactly the same. But they look different because of, I mean, this one's nice and bright. This one's kind of colorful with the carrots. This one is more subtle colors and that. And, you know, so they all look different, but they're all made exactly the same. I hope you enjoyed it. And until I get another video ready, I will see you at another time. Stay warm and be blessed. Bye.